And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I say welcome back because I missed you. I mean, Friday felt like it was 5 seconds ago, but I still missed you. So I'm happy to be back here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are your shop for your next vehicle. Whatever that ride may be, big or small, and whatever you need it for, Great Lakes Honda City is the place for you to go here in our community of Central and Upstate New York. So make sure you head over there today. Let them know that DT sent you for their new and used vehicles, and where I've gone for over a decade, trusting them to find me a car where I'll feel safe, it's affordable, and it's fun. So make sure you head out to Great Lakes Honda City today. You are with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. I thank you for being here with us, hanging out where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Can't thank you enough for being a part of the broadcast. And on today's show, inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin', we are going to be bringing you our conversation on the NCAA tournament. On the men's side, men's and women's tournament will be covered throughout this week. Got some awesome people coming on to the show, and very much looking forward to having this conversation with you wherever you are. And if you're watching it live, thank you. If you're watching it on recording, thank you as well. We appreciate it so very much. So with that being said, Murph is here with me as we will discuss the men's tournament for Division I en route to the Sweet 16. We're already on to the Sweet 16. We went through the first four, and from the first four, we went to the round of 64, and then we jumped right into the round of 32, and now we know our final 16 teams of 68 that made it, and over 360 that played Division I men's basketball. We are down to the Sweet 16, and we will discuss. And I got some surprises for y'all here on the broadcast as well in my coverage of the NCAA tournament. And I want to thank the NCAA and their staff for all that they do to help make my tournament coverage truly something special and something that I love bringing you every single season. So with that being said, speaking of bringing you, I proudly bring you picture in picture with me, Mr. Murph. And at the end of today's broadcast, I'm going to be doing a live box break connecting the world of college basketball to the world of cards, as we will be opening Panini Prism 2024 Draft Picks Blaster Box here. And this is proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. College basketball trading cards, men's and women's basketball, thanks to Panini. So very much looking forward to opening this. 6 packs per box, 30 cards in the box, which means 5 cards per pack. I've never opened the 2024 Panini Prism here for college basketball, so we will be doing that here today. Speaking about the college basketball tournament, and then opening cards in connection to those players that are moving on to the pros. So thought it was really cool. I don't know anybody else that would do something like that on their show, so that's why we're doing it. So with that being said, Murph, how are we doing this morning?
We're doing good, Dip. We're doing good, buddy. It was a fun week of college basketball. It's been a little while since we've been on the airwaves. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Had some stuff going on. Had a holiday in there mixed in. So yeah, it's good to be back on a Monday morning.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, obviously, if you're one of the 16 that are moving on here in the NCAA tournament, you are very excited about this morning. There's that positivity and that moment of, man, it feels so good. And then there's the other side of it, which has been really tough, and you never like to see it. But if you are Auburn, Michigan, as well as Ole Miss, Michigan State, if you're any of those teams, Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Houston, Purdue, BYU, Alabama, Duke, or Arizona, it's a great Monday morning here and a lot to be excited about. Really, I mean, we are one step away from seeing Michigan State in the Southwest bracket. Duke is doing their thing and doing it well. I still think Alabama's under the radar for whatever reason. Maryland is probably the one that people didn't expect. Maybe Purdue's on that line as well. And of course, the lowest seed to make it to the Sweet 16 is 10 seeded Arkansas, but don't be surprised because John Calipari is in his first year there. Anything that stuck out to you, Murph, as we get started with kind of a broad paintbrush on what the first two rounds look like in the NCAA tournament for men's basketball this year?
I think the fact that there were not very many upsets in round one.
Yeah.
I mean, most people, and that's the fun about doing brackets. And for the record, my bracket is shot. I still have my entire Final Four intact, but I did awful in the first round. I think I went like 17 or 18 for 32.
Yeah.
I went 8 for 16 on day one, which was terrible. But there was all the popular upset picks, which was like UC San Diego, Yale, VCU. They all lost. Even High Point. High Point lost too. So basically, the only real upsets we saw were Arkansas. We saw Colorado State. We saw Drake. And I think that was pretty much it. I mean, I don't really, you had the 8-9 matchups like Creighton won. But I did pick UNC to beat Ole Miss, but they did not. New Mexico beat Marquette, but we didn't really have any big upsets. Like we really only had two double-digit seed or two 11 and 12 seeds win anything, which is I don't want to say it's unusual, but it's been happening more often lately. So maybe it's a little unusual for what we've been accustomed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had Colorado State in the Sweet 16, and they got their hearts broken at the last second last night. I was watching that game, very disappointed that they lost. So I feel for them, but Maryland moves on there. But yeah, I think it was the really distinct lack of upsets, or lack of major upsets in round one that we've honestly become accustomed to in the last, 3 to 5 years. Especially because we've seen two 16 seeds win, multiple 15 seeds win and make runs. So it was weird.
Yeah, as this year, no seed below a 12 won a game. And so that's something to look at here. Seeds 13, 14, 15, and 16. Not a single one of them had a victory. In my bracket, I did have some of those.
Sorry, I forgot about McNeese.
Yeah, McNeese.
I totally forgot about McNeese.
McNeese did it as an 11 seed.
12.
12 seed.
12.
12? Clemson was a 5, yeah. So
I just picked the wrong 12 seed.
Yeah. So McNeese, there was two 12s that did it. It was Colorado State and McNeese State. Those are the two 12s that did it. Nobody, like I said, no 13 seed did it, and we didn't see anything else come from that. No 14 seeds, no 13 seeds, no 15 seeds, no 16s, and just a couple 12s. And so, this has been more about the higher seed moving forward. And the thing that kind of sticks with me here that I've been thinking about, because my brain always looks at big picture and analytical, is are we not seeing the Grand Canyons, the UNC Wilmingtons, the Omahas, the the Lipscombs, the Yales? I mean, Yale's a little bit different because Ivy League and whatnot, but are we not seeing the upsets because of NIL? Has name, image, and likeness done a job on killing this? Because name, image, and likeness is used with the transfer portal, which it's not supposed to be, but because players are lured into the transfer portal with the promise of money, not all, but some, because of name, image, and likeness creating money and for the players and transfer portal creating free agency, are we living in a place right now where we're not seeing the upsets because those players that existed on those teams, the Lipscombs and the, George Masons, let's say, of the past, and the Grand Canyons and the Valparaisos and so on and so forth, are those players already on these blue blood teams? Did they come to the Lipscombs of the world Did they come to the Drakes of the world and then they spend a year or two, somebody sees them, gets them in the transfer portal, they go to a bigger school? Is NIL and the transfer portal partially to blame for the fact that we don't have more upsets?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, at least with college basketball, because college basketball has always been a sport where you're going to have these crazy upsets, right? Like you're not going to have a McNeese beating Michigan in football when 2 years ago Michigan was 15-0. You're not going to see that like ever. Basketball, it could happen at any time. We saw it with Fairleigh Dickinson that beat Purdue. We saw it with UMBC that beat Virginia. Basketball is the type of sport where anything can happen.
Yeah.
Not like football. You're not going to have these D1 AA or mid-major schools beating up like beating top teams. It doesn't happen. College basketball, you see it, right? I mean, we saw St. Peter's. I don't remember who they beat, but St. Peter's make a run to the Elite Eight a couple of years ago. Lehigh beating Duke all those years ago, and that's the one that everybody remembers. Um, that can happen in basketball.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're having a game where there's so much physicality that one team is just completely overmatched. That's what you see in college football. But in college basketball, I mean, yes, size can make a difference, but if one team just gets hot from three or, they're making everything and another team gets into foul trouble, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Right? On any given day. I mean, UConn won the national championship as an 8 seed all those years ago. Like maybe it's 2016, maybe something like that. I think it was like the last year of the Big East. I think it was one of the last 2 years of the Big East was the first one they won, and then it was like one of the first 2 years in the American where they won again. But yeah, it was. I don't think the NIL and the transfer portal has as much of an effect in basketball as it does like in baseball or football. Baseball, for example, yeah, like any team can win on any given day, but they play 3-game series, right? When you get to the regionals and the super regionals, it's not like you're necessarily playing one game, right? Anybody could go out and win one game, but you've got to win. You've got to win your region. Like you've got to go 2-1 in your region in order to win. You've got to win your super regional series to make it to Omaha, and you've got to win a 3-game series to win a national championship. It's not like you're just playing one game. And then football, obviously, you're only playing one game. But again, physical teams, you're not going to see, yes, we have seen an Appalachian State beat Michigan in a random regular season game, but it doesn't have, it's so rare that, do you really expect UConn in football to go play Georgia and have any sort of chance? No. Georgia's going to beat them 73-7. And that's 7 points that UConn scores is going to be in garbage time when Georgia's got their fourth string quarterback in, or the fourth string defense. But yeah, I don't think it has a lot to do with the lack of upsets this year. I think this is just a year where college basketball was just so top heavy that, and obviously we saw St. John's lose, and that was disappointing because I was really looking forward to seeing a St. John's Florida Elite Eight matchup. Yeah. But it's really the only top seed that's lost. And St. John, it's not like St. John's was there all year. St. John's, I don't know if I would say they came out of nowhere, but they kind of did in a way to end up with a top 2 seed, which was very impressive for, I believe, only Pitino's second year there. And they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Their issue was they didn't shoot well in the game against Arkansas. So you're not going to win a game when you shoot under 30%. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I think it's very top heavy this year, so we're probably, I got three 1 seeds and a 2 seed in the Final Four.
Yeah.
So that's about, I think that's about what most people expect this year.
And I think it's only happened one time that we had all 4 1 seeds,
It was recent, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it was more recently. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go on the other side of this and say that having college basketball and college athletics be what they are right now, if you are a McNeese or you are a Drake or you are a Lipscomb, you are in a position where now your team's been on the national stage. Now people that have never seen you have seen you because you don't have those marquee TV times and you might be on ESPN Plus, but you're not on ESPN and you're not on CBS and yada, 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 unfortunately. And so now they've seen you. The portal opens today. I have thoughts on that, and I'll talk about that in a second. But will we see McNeese? And I'm not saying that the guys are just going to leave because they're asked to leave, but McNeese just lost their head coach, Will Wade, who's now
Oh,
the
they're
head
gonna
coach
McNeese will lose,
yeah,
guys.
at NC
McNeese
State.
will lose, guys, to NC State.
So the thing becomes McNeese goes out, McNeese wins a game. It's their first win ever in the NCAA tournament. They do it with Will Wade. Will Wade goes, they beat Clemson in the ACC. Will Wade is now a coach in the ACC. NC State and Clemson, little rivalry back and forth, the fight of the Carolinas. So he gets some guys to go with him, arguably, let's say. Also, because the rest of the country has now seen McNeese, those conversations could start to happen. Drake wins, so Drake can have a conversation. And now that conversation with those players from Drake, hey, you can go back and you can stay with Drake. You guys could maybe be a 13, 14, or 12 seed next year. You might win a game, or you can come play for me here at Georgia. You can come play for me at Arkansas. You can come play at St. John's. The reality of what the transfer portal is and what NIL is that these schools that have this talent, that found this talent, that discovered this talent, if you are one of those schools that's never on television and you get the opportunity to be out there and you win, especially when you win a game in the NCAA tournament, and you make it to the NCAA and you win it, there's going to be phone calls. And so now the question becomes how many of these potential upset teams are going to be affected by this? How many teams of that guy who can have that last second shot to give you a victory is now not playing for you? He's playing for Florida. He's playing for Maryland. So that's where I think it comes into play of these upsets that we love to see, and we've seen so many over time, is that now that we're a few years into the transfer portal and a few years into name, image, and likeness, I do believe that some of those last second one shining moment shots are not going to be of the smaller teams that are in people's eyes, but they're going to be in the blue blood teams because those players are going to be on the blue blood team. Fast forward to what today is. The transfer portal opens today. Not even 24 hours after you lose and you're emotional, you wake up and a coach calls you and says, hey, why are you going to sit where you're at right now at Louisville when you just got beat in the first round? You can come play for me at Auburn. Hey, why are you going to be at Lipscomb when you're a diamond in the rough and you should come play for Ole Miss? Hey, why would you not come to Houston when you're at Xavier right now and y'all had to play a play-in game and then you lost in the round of 64? The transfer portal's opening of right now mirrors the transfer portal's mistake of opening when it opens in college football.
Yeah, why is it opening during the playoffs?
Because
You can't wait 2 weeks.
because apparently the NCAA loves chaos. And here's the thing. You open at the end of the regular season in college football, which affects bowl games because players sit out, players leave. It affects the college football playoff. 2 teams, at least, did not have their backup quarterback in their college football playoff game because they were in the transfer portal.
Penn State.
And SMU, same game. did not have a backup quarterback that was their true number 2 because they were in the portal. Spring ball is going on right now in football. It just started. At the end of spring ball, mid-April, the portal will open again. When that portal opens, guys can go, yeah, I practice with this team, but coach told me I'm the 3rd best DB. So I can go to a smaller school and be the number 1 DB. Or I could say, coach, kick rocks. I know I'm better than you think I am. I'm going to go somewhere else. The opening of the portal, being at the end of the regular season, affects the postseason of college football, and being open after spring ball affects everything. And by the way, why would I want to be a head coach knowing the portal opens 5 seconds after my spring game ends? Because now you have my playbook, you've ran the plays, you've been in practice with me, you've heard all of our speak. Why would it not happen that I'm at Florida's spring practice and then I transfer to Georgia and I tell Kirby Smart, here's all the plays we're going to run? Who's stopping those kids from doing that? So that's something that makes no sense to me. Opening the portal after the round of 32 onto the Sweet 16 in college basketball, to speak on the basketball side of things, these kids are emotional, just like they are at the end of the college football season, right at the end of their season, Yours, and it's a few weeks more in, right? Because it's not at the end of the regular season, it's at the end of the round of 32. But now these kids are emotional. These kids are upset. These kids don't know what to do. Their coach just left. And now they're in a situation where they're going to make an emotional decision. This portal being open right now is insane. That if I'm Auburn and I'm a number 1 seed and I'm playing in the Sweet 16, I could be recruiting Chris Bell from Syracuse while I'm preparing for my game week. I'm preparing for Thursday, but I'm going to go get this guy from Drake and this guy from Syracuse, this guy from North Carolina. I'm going to be set up for my future. It is astronomically wrong. And J.J. Watt had a great quote yesterday. He was like, imagine if NFL free agency opened after the wild card round of the playoffs. And
Yeah.
To me, the NCAA has made a lot of mistakes, but to open up the portal where you can threaten a team. Imagine if Bruce Pearl goes into practice today and 3 of his guys go, Coach, we love you. We want to win a championship, but we got to offer more NIL money. We don't want to get hurt. We're not going to play in the next round. Sorry, Coach. What if one of the reserves on Houston says, you know, Kelvin, I appreciate everything, but you don't play me enough. So if you get into foul trouble, I don't really care because I'm going to Kansas next year. Why the portal opens at the end of the regular season for football and at the end of spring ball, and why it opened today during the NCAA tournament is beyond me. These should only be open in the off season in between, right? It needs to be open when everything's done. You can open the portal in football on January 19th or 20th or 21st, because right around then, the day after the championship, once everything's said and done, you can open it then. And if anybody contacts a player before January 20th, before January 19th, if anybody contacts a player before the morning after the national championship, it's an automatic penalty. Without question, doesn't matter what school it is, it's an automatic penalty, same fine, every school, boom, done. You call 3 players, you get 3 fines. Whatever you got to do to stop this crap, but you open it the day after the College Football Playoff National Championship, and you open it the day after the NCAA Tournament National Championship. It is March 24th right now. You can't wait until April 7th. You got April, you got May, you got June when the guys report back and start practicing again in the gym. You got like middle to the end of June. You ain't 2.5 months isn't long enough to open the portal? It doesn't make any sense to me that 1, this portal has almost no restrictions, and 2, that this portal opens during the postseason for college football and college basketball. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
It's the great unfortunate, but it's the NCAA. The NCAA has made a decision to not make a decision. Once again, it's like they're the step parent of sports. We want to tell you to go to your room, but we don't want to upset you. So you can go to your room, or you can go party with your friends all night. You can do either or, whichever one you like. And then they're hoping that the kid will go to the room. Which kid's going to go to the room when they got the opportunity to go to the room or party?
Maybe
So,
1 out of 100.
right. So, I mean, we're living in a world where we're going to hear about the transfer portal during the Sweet 16.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in that we're going to hear a movement. We've already heard of coaches. There's been a bunch of coaches hired here. And, I'm looking at this stuff right now. And in this time of all this has been happening, Iowa has agreed to a deal to make Drake's coach, Ben McCullum, their coach. So Drake loses. So literally, okay, Drake loses yesterday. Within the last couple of days, I interviewed Drake's coach, Ben McCullum. Now he's on a different team. That happened to me last year. Literally interviewed a coach next day somewhere else. And then we have Texas to hire Sean Miller as their next head coach, which means Xavier has to look for a coach. Texas, in order for that job to be open, they fired Rodney Terry after 3 seasons. Then we look at Will Wade, like I said, at NC State. And then we look at, in 2018, Ryan Odom was the head coach of UMBC, and they defeated Virginia, the first 16 seed to ever beat a 1 seed in the history of the NCAA tournament for men's Division I basketball. Now he's the head coach of Virginia. So,
isn't that ironic?
and all of this happens within a few days. But think about that. Think about the fact that I just spoke with Ben McCullum, just spoke with him, and now he's the head coach of a different school.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That is that's kind of bizarre.
And that's happened to me many times. And I can go back to those moments. Mike Norvell, Memphis wins their championship. We're at the Liberty Bowl. Do an interview with him. He becomes the Florida State head coach right after. In the moment, Scott Frost, UCF, crying. UCF wins the American championship. Does it at home in the bounce house in Orlando. Within 2 hours, we're upstairs. Guess what? Scott Frost isn't here anymore. We're going to go downstairs and have a press conference. I have literally lived this. Last season, interview a coach, look at my phone. He's not the coach of that team anymore. Multiple coaches did that last year. And they've done it this year. And Xavier, I don't think they had a bad season. But now Sean Miller was not at Xavier. He was at Xavier, then I think he went to Arizona. He went back to Xavier, and now he's going to Texas.
Well, he got a better job.
And
I mean, you can't blame the coaches for going and getting a better job. Like,
no, not blaming them for
the guy
getting a
from
better
McNeese
job.
going to NC State. Like, I'd want to go to a Power 5 team.
But you also
Power
look
4
at the fact
team,
of
sorry.
where they're at, though. Sean Miller coming back to Xavier, he's probably got a longer leash. In Texas, that dude's got 2 to 3 years to win and
Of
get
course.
deep. And if he doesn't win, if he doesn't get that team to the Sweet 16 in his first 2 years, he might get fired.
Well, that's his chance. It's a risky take when you make a step like that. I mean, but we see it all the time, right? Like we saw, we're seeing literally right now in college baseball, the coach of Texas A&M moved on to Texas, and Texas A&M has suffered because of it. And Texas is doing, I think, like just okay. Let me double check on that just so that I'm not giving you anything that's not accurate here. But, I mean, Texas, actually, I was wrong. Texas is 17-1. So he's doing pretty good with Texas. It was a bold move for him to move Texas A&M, on from Texas A&M. But we see this all the time. Look at the who's Alabama's coach right now? Was it Washington? What's his name?
Kalen DeBoer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer goes from Washington to Alabama. You don't think that's a risky move? Of course it is. But if I'm Kalen DeBoer and Nick Saban calls me and said, "Do you want to be my replacement at Alabama?" Who wouldn't say yes?
Yeah.
I mean that's a dream job for somebody.
Yeah.
So I mean they didn't have a good year this year. I mean if they have another bad for Alabama years, maybe he doesn't last. Who knows? But I don't blame these guys for going out and finding better jobs. Will Wade going to NC State, He did his job with McNeese, and now he's going to go to a bigger school. Not surprising. These coaches want to move up,
Yeah.
right? Division II coaches want to get to the Division I level. It happens all the time. Mid-major coaches want to go to Power 5, Power 4 conference schools, right? You got somebody that's coaching in the Mountain West that gets offered a job in the Big 12. They're probably going to take it. You got a guy coaching in the MAC that gets offered a job in the ACC. They're probably going to take it. I don't blame them. And, with the transfer portal, obviously McNeese is going to lose some guys to NC State. That's just inevitable.
Yeah.
When a coach leaves, you're going to lose guys. And you'll probably lose guys to the team that he moved on to. So I'm willing to bet that he will lose some guys from there. But it was the same way with Rick Pitino when he went to St. John's. There were guys from Iona that followed him. Right? There's always going to be guys that will follow their coach. Look at Caleb Williams that was at Oklahoma, and then he follows Lincoln Riley to USC.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's bound. I mean, Rick Pitino gutted Iona when he left. So, and then you look at Iona, and Iona has Tobin Anderson's been there a couple seasons, and he's already gone. It's no longer there anymore. Give the man a little bit of time. Where was Iona on the map before Rick Pitino? And then
Nowhere.
Here comes Rick Pitino, and Rick Pitino gets him to the tournament, and then Tobin Anderson comes in. FDU defeats Purdue, the second 16 seed ever to defeat a 1 seed in the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament. And after 2 years, you're not winning enough, Tobin. You're not doing enough in the MAAC, the MAC. You're not handling business. Crazy. But that team was gutted. There's other teams that are going to be gutted. When a coach leaves, right, it's a safety blanket to bring a guy or 2 or 10. I mean, you'll see what happens. Speaking of the transfer portal, I got to hit this, okay, because I said something during the season, and I've said it multiple times during the season. I said, mark my words, I would not be surprised if the majority of Syracuse's team is not here next year. If the majority of this team is in the portal. They already got 3 guys in the portal. 3. Elijah Moore, who's a true freshman, who is hurt at times, but just wasn't really put out there a lot. His nickname is Choppa. He's gone. Chris Bell, who told me that he doesn't want to be an energy consumer. That's what he said to me last year. But he has been. He's gone. And I think it's probably better for Syracuse that he finds a new space and that they find a new opening for that spot that's vacated. It's nothing against Chris. It's just he wasn't.
Didn't seem like it was a good marriage.
He wasn't adding as much as he was subtracting. And then another guy that jumps in the portal, a good defender, a guy who goes to work, a guy who used to be at Kansas, who transferred to Syracuse, who never got enough playing time, and I never understood why. Kyle Cuff Jr. If I'm Kyle Cuff, I'm not staying here because I don't feel like this team had a lot of fight in them, but Kyle did. So, yeah, I'm not going to stay with this team with a bunch of guys that are kind of in it, kind of not. So he's out. Elijah Moore, he's going to go play somewhere. He's going to do some electrifying things. He's going to be in the NCAA tournament. That's my prediction. Chris Bell's, he is an energy consumer. And he said he doesn't want to be, but he is. And he has to change that for the better of Chris, on and off the court, and for the better of the team, and the better of the people that he's around. Here's the other thing. What Syracuse is right now, they are not a destination. Syracuse is not a destination for consistent success of guys that want to be there. Guys have been leaving. The last 3 seasons of Boeheim, he was losing 2, 3, 5 guys a season. He lost multiple players toward the tail end of his career. Then Adrian lost guys. I said last season, after Adrian's first season as head coach, I said last season, they cannot lose Q or Malik. Q or Malik. Quadir Copeland, Malik Brown. Malik is the nucleus of the team. Q was the second guy to me. They cannot lose them both. They cannot lose one of them. They definitely can't lose them both. They lost them both. Quadir Copeland went to McNeese State. They won their conference tournament in the A-Sun, and then they went on to win a game against Clemson. He never beat Clemson when he was at Syracuse. He beats Clemson when he's a Cowboy at McNeese State. Malik Brown's on Duke. Duke's one of the final 16 teams in America. The two guys I said they couldn't afford to lose were in the tournament and at least won a game in the tournament, and Malik and Duke has a chance to win a national championship. And look at Syracuse, 14-18, watching the game from home. So when you look at that situation, I'm not surprised. Am I surprised that McNeese State was this good this year? Yes. But am I surprised that Quadir Copeland is doing good things? No. Am I surprised that John Shire loves Malik Brown at Duke? No. Syracuse could not afford to lose the guys that were going to give the most to the 2024-25 season. They left. They made the tournament. Syracuse was a joke this year. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I don't know what Adrian's plan is, but I don't know what the selling point is. Because being on the inside looking out, I feel like more guys are leaving that want to come. And the leadership this year was almost non-existent. And next year, there's one guy, if he stays, that I think, okay, JJ's the leader. JJ Starling's the leader. But does JJ want to stay on this team? Does JJ want to be a part of another rebuild? JJ saw the end of Boeheim. He saw a tumultuous time with Adrian. He saw another tumultuous time. Does he want to be a part of this? Is this how he wants to end his career? With drama, tumultuousness, the portal working against them. I know that JJ's a hometown kid, but if JJ wants to play pro ball and JJ wants to make the NCAA tournament and JJ wants to turn some heads, he's not going to do that at Syracuse. And it frustrates me to say that because that wasn't the case most of my life. But if JJ actually wants to make a name for himself, he probably has to go somewhere else. Because he's really good on a really crappy team. And this team had 9 new faces. Now God knows how many new faces they're going to have. Because they went into the portal and got a bunch of graduates and seniors. So the guys that you got for a year are done. A bunch of them. And then the guys that weren't done, they're leaving. So what do you have left? Your roster, once again, is a few guys. It's just a few guys. And you got to build around those few guys that you have in hopes of creating something that's going to be better than it was this year. And Syracuse, well, in Adrian's first year, they won 20 games. Look at the 20 games they won. 19 of them were against unranked teams. So why would somebody come to Syracuse? Why would somebody stay at Syracuse? Because if the definition of insanity is in full play here, who's coming? Who's the nucleus? Who is the guy? The guys that were the best guys on the team are gone. And they made you watch them in the tournament. That should speak volumes to Syracuse. The guys that left you went to other places and immediately they're in the tournament. And I know Duke is good, but Malik Brown is a utility belt. Who thought McNeese was going to make back-to-back tournaments and beat Clemson this time around? So, Syracuse, I don't know what the selling point is, but it can't just be money, and it can't just be promises of playing time. There has to be something with the program that is sellable, and right now, I don't know what you can sell about Syracuse basketball. You can talk about tradition, but it's been a long time since we've seen it.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough situation to be in if you're a Syracuse fan, if you're somebody around that team, if you're a player looking at going there, it's a it's a weird situation right now, and you have no idea if things are going to get better or if they're going to get worse again.
Yeah.
This is so uncharacteristic for Syracuse basketball, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Syracuse has always been a team, and maybe not as much since the old Big East, but Syracuse has been a team that was a mainstay in the tournament every single year, and they were almost always a top 5 seed. And more recently, to see a team like that that's not in the tournament that I don't even think made the NIT or the CIT
No.
that completely missed the postseason.
Yeah. 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's one of those where do you go from here situations. Like, do they have a decent recruiting class? Are they trying to recruit maybe younger guys out of the portal? But if they try to recruit younger guys out of the portal, based on what you just said, who knows how long they're going to be there? They could be one and done.
Yeah.
But and we'll see. But the Dome's been hurting for some good basketball in the last half decade, and we just really haven't seen it, right? Like, and to be honest, there's a lot of schools that since you know elite all-time great head coaches have left, haven't been as good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Duke in the first year after Coach K left. Syracuse since Boeheim left. The now Kentucky with Calipari gone. They're still decent, right? But they're not like dominating college basketball the way they once did.
Yeah.
Billy Donovan leaves Florida to go to the NBA after winning 2 national championships. Florida got bad for a while.
Yeah.
Billy Donovan was a great head coach for Florida. Villanova, same thing. It's happening all over college basketball. And even, honestly, college football too. And we talked about the NIL and how it really hasn't affected or at least how I don't think it's really affected the amount of upsets that we've seen. But you're seeing it in college football too. NIL has made these old school, all-time great head coaches, it's made them retire because they can't compete anymore. Saban had to get it the heck out of Dodge. He didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
Apparently from what he was saying, all these kids cared about was getting paid.
Yeah.
They didn't care about playing for the love of the sport. They didn't care about developing for the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's what these old school coaches want. They don't want these kids that are just there for the money. They want these kids that love the game and want to play at the next level and are bought into the program and bought into the development aspects of the program. You don't see that in college football and college basketball anymore. There's way too much money being thrown around.
Yeah.
Other college sports where there's not as much, NIL involved, like there's not a whole lot of NIL money in baseball. There's not a whole heck of a lot of NIL money in lacrosse. There's some,
Yeah.
But these guys are at least able to go out and, if they do like YouTube, for example. I know that was a big, big thing for why NIL became a thing. They're YouTubers. They're TikTokers. They can make money on that, right? They don't have to worry about, you either do that or you can play. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
You can do both.
Yeah.
But like college baseball, you don't really see that as much. Now, there's still guys in the transfer portal and whatnot, and guys will change schools and move up from D2 to D1 or D3 to D2, whatever the case may be, or go to a smaller school so that they can play. But you don't see that as happening, at least not yet. Like, Florida hasn't really lost a whole heck of a lot of guys, and Kevin O'Sullivan's been there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a national championship. They've been, last 2 years they've been in Omaha. Now, granted, they just got swept the last 2 weekends, so not looking too hot right now. But, it's a program with a lot of tradition, with a lot of, really good expectations on guys. Not to necessarily compare Kevin O'Sullivan to Nick Saban or Coach K, but, coaches like that, you really, when they leave, the program takes a step back.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama took a big step back in football this year.
Yeah.
Coach K's first year out of Duke took a huge step back. Now they're back to where they want to be, and Cooper Flagg has had a massive reason why, even though they won the conference championship without him. But you're not like Kentucky is not as good as they've been in recent years. Now Calipari in his last couple of years they weren't as good. Same with Coach K, and now they're kind of starting to catch back up.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Louisville. Now, obviously, it was a scandal that got Pitino out of Louisville, but look at Louisville right after Rick Pitino left. Now, this was before NIL, but they took a huge step back. Yeah, they had some penalties after the scandal that made Pitino lose his job, but they took a big step back.
Yeah.
Syracuse has taken a big step back.
Virginia.
Virginia. UConn for a while after Jim Calhoun left and before Hurley got there.
Yeah.
Took huge steps back.
But everybody forgets about Kevin Ali. That man won a national
I mean,
championship.
he did win a national championship.
Won a national championship. Everybody forgets about my man Kevin Ali. But
I think that's the one they were an 8 seed, right?
it might have been. He wasn't there long. He was there for a little bit.
No. Because I think that was the national championship that they were an 8 seed. It was either that one or the first one or the last one with Calhoun. I don't remember. But one of those two, they totally came out of nowhere. But at the same time, it's a program that you could see winning something. Like I think they beat Kentucky, who was also an 8 seed that year. Which, to see 2 8 seeds in the national championship, it's pretty darn impressive. Something we'll probably never see again. But they, after that national championship and Ali and they took a bit of a step back until Dan Hurley got there.
Yeah.
And then Dan Hurley comes in, wins 2 national championships, and obviously this year wasn't as good a year for them, but they also have lost a lot of players, and you're not going to win 3 championships in a row.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. If they would have gone in and won a 3rd straight national championship, first of all, kudos to them, would have been enormously impressive. And, second of all, you'd be talking about Dan Hurley as one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he's only, 5 years in at UConn? Just got, I think, the richest contract extension for a coach in the history of college basketball.
I told y'all what he was doing. When he went on the West Coast and he interviewed with the Lakers, I said he's never going to be the Lakers head coach in this moment.
Of course not.
He's going there.
Why does he want to go work for LeBron?
He's going there to jockey himself to go back to UConn to get more money, and it's exactly what he got.
Yeah. But why on earth would he want to go work for LeBron? Because I don't care I don't care what you believe about, the GOAT debate, and we can have that conversation another day, even though I don't think it would take us very long, because I think both of us are on the same page.
Yeah.
No coach in their right mind would want to go coach the Lakers because you are answering to LeBron, not the general manager. Say what you want. LeBron's in charge of that team. LeBron's the reason Bronny is on that team.
LeBron is Jerry Jones.
Literally. Like, LeBron is the reason that Bronny got drafted by the Lakers. If Bronny does not have LeBron's last name, first of all, I don't think he would have stayed at USC because he was not ready to come to the NBA. And number 2, if he did get drafted, he would not have played in the NBA yet. He'd be in the G League. If he even kept playing in the G League. Now, granted, from what I've been seeing, he's actually not doing too bad in the G League, which is why the Lakers keep bringing him up. But that situation would have been. I don't blame Dan Hurley for wanting to get the heck out of there. Like, I don't blame him for not taking that job. Yeah. But you're right. I think he used that job as leverage to go get a huge extension from UConn, and it worked. Good for him. Not gonna complain about that in any situation, but. Now they got Steve Nash out there, and Steve Nash, former player, future Hall of Famer. I don't remember if he and LeBron played together. If they did, it was brief.
Incredible Canadian.
Yes. But yeah, like Steve Nash is one of the smartest, most intelligent players of all time. That works. He's played for the Lakers. He understands the situation. He's friends with LeBron. That's fine. That's the type of coach that you're going to get to coach that team. You're not going to go out and get a big name to come and coach that team. It's not going to work. Look at all the coaches LeBron has had in his career. Once LeBron leaves, that team's not good. Now, I'll give Spoelstra credit in Miami. He actually kind of rebuilt that team after LeBron left, and they got to a finals. I don't think they won, but they got to a finals. Shows you how much I know about the NBA. But even Cleveland.
First, like, remember
Ty
when the
Lue.
Jazz won 3 finals with John Stockton? I'm like, never happened, Murph.
But yeah, like
Should have, could have.
yeah. I mean, but even you look at Ty Lue in Cleveland. They win that championship with LeBron, and then LeBron leaves, and they're the worst team in the NBA again.
Yeah.
Like the teams that LeBron leaves, he leaves them in shambles. It's the same. It's no different than a coach leaving a team in college basketball or college football, to be frank, because he's going to take guys with him. But those coaches were never, you know, they were never supposed to be great coaches. They just happened to have a great player on the team. It's the same reason why I think Aaron Boone is one of the worst managers in baseball, and yet the Yankees love him because he's got this great team, and they keep going to the playoffs, and they just went to the World Series. They didn't get to the World Series this year because of Boone. They got to the World Series because Juan Soto took that team, put them on his back, and carried them to the World Series. And they lost to a far superior team in the Dodgers in the World Series, as we expected them to. But everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Boone's doing a great job. Boone's doing a great job." First of all, dude doesn't know how to use a bullpen. He's awful at it. His guys are consistently getting hurt, so his training staff clearly isn't very good. And he's got the best player, the best hitter on the planet, the best player not named Shohei Ohtani, and he turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the only reason you make a deep run is because you made a trade for a guy that left you in free agency that carried you to the World Series.
Yeah.
That's not Boone. That's not because of Boone. They got there in spite of Boone. All of LeBron's championships that he's won, he has won with coaches that were only good because of LeBron. They won in spite of their coach, not because of their coach. Now, you could say that for a lot of teams and a lot of different sports and a lot of different situations, but having a good coach is going to be part of the reason you win a Super Bowl or a World Series or an NBA championship. We've had this conversation before, too, about Nick Sirianni. I don't think Nick Sirianni's a very good coach. I think they won that championship in spite of him. They were very good this year. Jalen Hurts played out of his mind. Saquon Barkley had arguably one of the greatest seasons for a running back in NFL history. And they go and win a championship.
Yeah.
That's what you expect a good team to do. But they weren't good because of their coach. They were good because the players were great. I don't think Sirianni's that great a coach. And people can disagree with me all they want. Eagles fans come at me in the chat, in the comments. But Sirianni's not the reason that they won that championship. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and that defense is.
There's a lot of thoughts that what were you going to say?
Realistically, that's just the way it is. You know, even look at who was it? College football. Who won this year? Ohio State. Ryan Day, Ohio State. He hasn't exactly done anything that's made you think, oh, he's this amazing college football coach. All these years, losing to Michigan. You know, not getting it done when it matters the most in the playoff. Then he finally goes and wins because he's got a great team. That Ohio State team this year, unbelievable. He recruits well, sure, but he's not a good coach. Good coaches often will find ways to win. Bad coaches win when they have good teams. Yeah. Remember, it doesn't matter the position, even quarterbacks. Yeah. Remember Mark Bulger with the greatest show on turf, that Rams team. Mark Bulger was great when he had guys around him, Torrey Holt and Marshall Faulk and everybody on that team that was great.
Isaac Bruce.
Roland
Williams from Syracuse, thank you.
Literally, that whole team was great. Greatest show on turf. They won a Super Bowl with Kurt Warner. Uh-huh. those guys get old,
Because
they
Kurt Warner is a
retire,
magician.
they leave. Kurt Warner Mark Bulger played because Kurt Warner got hurt. Kurt Warner eventually moves on to the Arizona Cardinals, where he goes on to play in another play for another championship, and he he loses to the Steelers
In the
but
final 2 minutes and change. Sad.
one of the best Super Bowl drives in recent history.
Thanks to
and
Santonio Holmes' ability to do ballet very well.
arguably the greatest, probably the most impactful and greatest catch in the history of
David
of
Tyree, man.
football.
David Tyree, man.
Yes,
Tyree.
I still think the helmet catch is the goat of that.
Yeah.
Sure,
Tyree.
it set up the touchdown drive, but Santonio Holmes made the catch on the touchdown that ended the game, and what he did with his toes to get it to stay in bounds was unbelievably impressive. So I mean, it's a 1A 1B type of thing. I mean, we could also throw the Julian Edelman bobble catch in there at some point as well, but at the same time, you have Mark Bulger, who's great when he's got pieces around him, and then when he doesn't, the team suffers, right? That was the story of Mark Bulger's career. When he had weapons, he was great. When he didn't, he wasn't. That's why I'm worried about Sam Darnold going to the Seattle Seahawks. He's got nothing there. He had Justin Jefferson. He had Aaron Jones in the backfield. He had good weapons in Minnesota.
DK is gone.
Well, he looked good.
Leave it to Murph, though. Leave it to Murph to have a college basketball conversation and bring up a baseball analogy.
Of course, I have to bring up a baseball analogy.
Leave it to Murph
because it's almost
baseball
season.
To be
We're
like,
a week away.
What? I'm thinking about Rick Pitino. I'm thinking
We're
about
not
Virginia.
a week away. We are
3 days.
4 days. 3 days away.
Yeah, we're 3 days away because it's always Papa Joe time. It's Thursday, but yeah, and so it's just funny to me. Aaron Boone and all that stuff.
Of course.
People are like, yeah, okay, you made it, but not because of Boone. So
they made it because of Soto.
Well,
and now Soto plays across town. So cry about it, Yankee fans.
Oh my goodness. And so there's two things you can always anticipate from Murph. To make a baseball analogy appear out of nowhere and to remind Philadelphia how much he hates them. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Yeah.
That too.
We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Please understand, to the city of Philadelphia, Philadelphia Eagles fans, and Philly hopeful everywhere, the comments by Brendan Murphy are not the expressed consent of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, LLC. We will be back on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora after this fast break. We have more to talk about. I will get Murph back on the basketball train right after this.
Yes.
Here where sports meets life. The final 16. By the way, I got some comments because Murph said if Hurley won 3 in a row, he'd be one of the greatest ever. Well, the one that is the greatest ever, he won a lot in a row. We'll talk about that. We'll also go back to Syracuse.
That's why I said one of the.
Listen, Mr. Wooden, he broke the mold. We will also discuss Syracuse's track and where they are right now and where they used to be, to go back to that point right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets life. Jerry wrote back to you because he is a Philly fan. He wrote, "The hatred is reciprocated." We'll be back right after this.
Hey, I will wear it. I'll wear it.
We'll be back after this on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Please stay with us. And Philly, know that half of this screen still loves you. We'll be back right after this. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, what is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience, it's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allow customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality, and I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really in large part changed that value system for employees, so they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we are back here. And you know what, Murph, at some point in this broadcast of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, not necessarily this specific one, but on Wake Up Call, at some point, you and I are going to go live from Philadelphia, and I'm going to make you eat a Philly cheesesteak on air. I'm going to make you sit with Philadelphia Eagles fans, Phillies fans, Flyers fans.
As long as it's a steak sandwich with no cheese, I'm okay with that.
Murph, you are
Because
losing.
everybody that
I'm
knows me knows how
trying to
picky
help
I am.
you.
I won't eat the cheese.
You're losing
I'll
the
eat
people.
the steaks.
Murph,
Give me the steak with
no.
salt, pepper, ketchup,
No.
and I'm a happy camper.
you are losing the people of Philadelphia right now. You're
I
losing
know.
them.
I'm aware, and I'm okay with that.
You're losing.
But listen,
you're
I'm
losing.
I'm
Give
a
me
man that
Philly
will.
cheesesteak
I
with
am
no
a man
cheese.
that will take the hate.
Okay.
I will take the hate. If people hate New York, that is fine. I don't particularly like the city of Philadelphia. That is okay too. We all have our opinions. I just don't particularly like your sports teams. That's just me. But I did root for them when they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just okay. So there's a comment that came in.
On to the next.
There's a comment that no, I have two. I'm trying to help you, Murph. I'm trying to help you. I am a man of peace. I am a man of bringing people together. I am a man of if you're on this side and they're on this side, let's find something equal. So I brought the cheesesteak to the table and you said, give me a cheesesteak with no cheese, Murph. You're killing me. But I will say this. We have a
I do regret not getting the steak sandwich the day we were down there.
Murph.
I should have gotten something.
Where we ate the steak
I
sandwich,
think I ate a lot at the show and I wasn't all that hungry. I think that was the reason I didn't.
Murph's like,
Or because we were going out. I don't remember.
I ate a cold pretzel at the show over the span of 3 hours. I wasn't hungry anymore. I was hungry. I was very hungry. And in order to get to the cheesesteak
Hey, you
place,
said that cheesesteak was very good.
it was
so
fantastic.
I had a little regret when we got back in the car and did the drive back north, but yeah.
I will
that was
say this
unfortunate.
too. I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. And we did have a comment come in about the Patriots, and I unfortunately have to share that comment. But there's there's Philadelphia. I talk to the people of Philly. I connect with the people of Philly. I spend time at Fishtown Card Show, as Murph has as well. And
the Philly show was 2 weeks ago, so I was just down there for 3 days.
Yeah. And I will say that speaking with the people of Philadelphia, they told me Max's, they told me Ishkabibbles. Murph won't take me to Ishkabibbles because it's in the city, so we had to go. We had to go to the outskirts. Wait, we had to go to the outskirts.
I was scared
bomb
to go
shelter.
there.
We had to go through a third world country to get to Max's. We went down a street that looked like it was bombed in the Middle East.
Yeah,
and that's where Max's was. Now the cheesesteak was phenomenal. It was beautiful. It was great.
It was so sketchy there,
Murph watched his car the whole time, but
it was sketchy. What can I say? Like, there was a dude that parked his truck right in front of my car, and I'm just like, I'm afraid this dude's gonna steal my car.
Murph's like, you can park anywhere in this bombed part of the country, but
I know
you had to park right here, so no.
But the Ishkabibbles one, like, that was like in Philly, so
but so many
that
people
was
have
I
told
was a
me
little frightened to go to that one.
So many people have told me Ishkabibbles, but I will say that I've heard Max's more than once. So the fact that those are the two names I hear, I'm excited about it. So Patriots fans want to weigh in right now. I don't know why. They always want to talk about something. And but here's my thing. Here's my thing. This is the reason why I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with Tom Brady. I'm going to tell you why.
I am now.
I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with him.
He's retired and he went to the Bucks for a couple of years. I'm good. I'm okay with him now.
Went down to Tampa
I wasn't.
Bay. Yes. But I'm going to tell you why I'm okay with Tom Brady. Because he was in the movie Ted. He was in the second one. And I love that teddy bear. So I'm okay with Tom Brady being
You love that teddy bear?
Oh, that teddy bear. So I'm trying not to swear. But I mean But, Patriot, here's the thing.
You want to go to the comedy club and yell sad suggestions?
Do
I ever?
What did he say? He's like, give us a topic. 9/11.
Let's give us a topic. 9/11.
And yeah. So
how about a person? Robin Williams.
Yeah, it was awful. So let me just throw this out here to my Patriots fans and listeners. I have family all throughout Massachusetts, and they swear by the Patriots. I had a friend back in the day, and for whatever reason, he would only date women. Now, we lived in Florida. he would only date women that were from Massachusetts. And I said,
Kind of hard to find in Florida.
It's not, though, because of Disney. And I was like, why?
Fair enough.
Why do you keep doing this to the house? Because they're sweet. They're sweet. They were sweet people. Jen was the best. Jen was the best. And the crazy thing about Jen is some people that are together for a long time, they start to look like each other. I don't know why it happens. It's scary. But like they started to look like each other. And one day they were sitting on the couch and they're like, Dan, do we look like each other? And I don't lie. But they look like brother and sister. And I was like, how am I? I was like looking at them and looking at the door going, if I run as fast as I can and break the glass of this door, can I escape this conversation? Because they looked like each other. They really did. And we were on the first floor. I wasn't going to die. I mean, I would run right onto grass. But yeah, they definitely look like each other. But there was this one girl, and I told this story before, and I know my Patriots fans might not like it, but there was a girl he dated, Amanda, and she would always like throw the Patriots stuff in my face. And I told her, I said, you can come visit. You can come down to Florida, but do not bring any Patriots stuff in the house, because if you bring it in the house, I'm going to take it. So I was in the kitchen and my buddy wasn't there. And she looked at me and she's got this tiny girl. And she had this Patriots jersey. And she's like, Dan, and it was a Tom Brady jersey. And I was like,
oh, God,
make me look at it one more time. I'm going to set it on fire. But I never did. I never set it on fire. But here's my question to you. To get me off the hot seat. Which fans would you rather not spend Christmas with? Patriots fans or Eagles fans? And why?
Well, I mean, I kind of have to spend Christmas with a Patriots fan since, Kate, I love you, but you married a Jets fan with my brother, so we kind of will always hold that against you. So having said that and having spent Christmas with Patriots fans, and it's not that bad, I'd say I'd rather have Christmas with Patriots fans. But here's the thing, like, Eagles fans aren't exactly like bad people, but when it comes to situations surrounding their team, they're psychopaths. I mean, they will fight people for no reason.
It's true.
After they win a game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what boiled me over was the year they beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. When they beat the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl, there were Eagles fans fighting Vikings fans just for walking out of the stadium in a Vikings jersey. These guys were bummed enough that their team just lost, but with a chance to go to go win a championship, and all they're doing is walking out of the stadium, and they are getting beat up by Eagles fans for absolutely no reason. That is the thing that makes me despise Philadelphia Eagles and Philadelphia sports fans. Phillies fans aren't as bad, but I've had some bad experiences with Phillies fans. I've also had some very good experiences with Phillies fans during a Mets-Phillies game.
Yeah.
So at one end of it, you have, in their regular lives, they're probably, they're not bad people, right? But when it comes to their sports teams, they are psychotic and will sometimes fight people for absolutely no reason. Now, maybe they're drunk, maybe they're, just psychotic. I don't know, but that's just what they do sometimes.
I love it. Murph's like, in normal life, they're okay, but they are psychopaths when it comes to their games.
I'm not. I mean, anybody that's not an Eagles fan and looks at them, like any Cowboys or Giants fan that looks at them from afar will probably agree with me. Maybe not Commanders, because they're kind of just. I don't think the Eagles fans necessarily hate the Commanders. They're kind of just there.
Well, I was told if you go to the Eagles stadium, and
do not wear a jersey from the opposing team.
They're like, if you wear a Cowboys jersey, like, they will attack.
Oh, you will get murdered.
Now, I have been to
Quite literally.
I've been to Foxborough, and and I was there for the Jaguars game in 2018 when my Jaguars were held out of the Super Bowl by a mere 4 points. and 6:06 remaining. I felt it. I turned around. I looked at the chair behind me in the press box, and my G-Mama was there. And I looked at her, and I saw her go like this. I saw her shake her head no. So maybe the Patriots people that have reached out to me this morning would understand that my pain is deep. And my pain comes from a place of not only were the Jaguars not in the Super Bowl, but I had the opportunity to cover them potentially. So by Tom Brady knocking the Jaguars out of the Super Bowl, he knocked me out of the Super Bowl. And what girlfriend or significant other would want their mate to be knocked out of the Super Bowl? Who would want that for someone? I wonder. But that's where we sit. Let's get back.
I will say
What,
this,
go ahead.
though.
Yeah.
The one and only time that my Jets and Patriots played in the postseason during my lifetime, kicked Tom Brady's sorry little butt. Beat him up, went on to the next round, and they lost to the Steelers. But that's okay.
Yeah.
They 1-1 against Peyton Manning, 1-0 against Tom Brady in the postseason, 0-1 against Ben Roethlisberger in the postseason. That's okay.
Yeah.
Although that is the last time the Jets were even in the playoffs, so I guess Patriots fans feel free to, rub that in a little bit. But
By the way,
yeah, I'm not optimistic with what things could happen.
I made a comment.
Although I like Justin Fields, I don't know if we've had a chance. I don't think we've had a chance to talk about that since he came to the Jets.
To talk about college
I
basketball.
like that.
We're talking about the Patriots.
Let's talk about college basketball.
But here's
Go
the thing.
Gators!
I will say this really quick though. I did say years ago when Tom Brady was still a Patriot, I said he wasn't the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, what I meant by that was he didn't have the best arm. He still doesn't have the best arm of all time. Dan Marino, there's other guys that had a better arm than he has. But
He's not the most talented ever.
But
He's just the greatest ever.
He's not the most talented. He's just really good at scheming and chess playing. But here's the thing. I said he's not the greatest quarterback of all time at that time before he went to Tampa. I had no less than 500 messages on Twitter within an 8-day period from Patriot fans to the point where I thought my picture was at every local bar and restaurant in Boston, Massachusetts.
I gave it to him when they came back 28-3.
But I did say
when they came back from 28-3, I was like, yeah, he's got 5 now. Montana only had 4. Yeah. That comeback was unbelievable. I'm like, all right, he's the GOAT.
I said that he was the greatest of all time when he did it with Tampa. Because Tampa was like a 4-win team.
That probably, if there was an argument for anybody else, it solidified it.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Because obviously, can they do it without each other? Can Belichick win without him? No. Can Brady win without Belichick?
But I don't think Belichick's the best coach of all time anymore, though.
No. And can Brady win without him? Yeah, Brady did. So
Belichick didn't.
Yeah. No, he didn't. And
I'm intrigued to see what he does at UNC.
He'll be back in the end. I don't. That's just.
Of course he will.
It's a weird relationship with me, but I will.
Do you think he actually ever coaches a game for UNC?
I mean, at this point, I don't know. Everything is kind of leery. But if I get to interview Bill Belichick, I just hope he's never watched my show before.
Yeah, I would hope so too.
Yeah, because I may have called him the human. I may have called him the physical human being epitome of constipation.
Oh, boy.
And I don't want to talk. I also want to know how Bill Belichick has a girlfriend that could be like my daughter. That's weird to me. But...
You know what, she 29? 28?
Yeah. So maybe not my daughter. But
she's like my age.
But like my little sister. Yeah, it's weird, But, or I want to know how Bob Kraft could, be so crafty to get out of the massage parlor the way that he did. But... I mean, I have a lot of questions, but I will say this. Being in Foxborough and being at the game, 2 things happened before the game even started that were wonderful. I do my Boston accent. I learned it from Ted. I'm sitting there eating a lobster roll. They made me a lobster roll. They had a buffet.
A lobster roll?
Lobster. Freaking lobster.
Lobster?
Not hot dogs, not hamburgers, freaking lobster.
No.
But like not the imitation.
You need a New York dirty water dog.
Not the imitation lobster. Like the real freaking lobster. Like the lobster climbed out and they said, "Not your day today, buddy." Cut his freaking head off and then put him on the freaking bun, right? So I'm eating this lobster and it was fantastic. Fantastic. And when I had it, as I'm sitting there eating the lobster roll, there's two guys behind me, and the guy's going, the guy's like, "Did you see the gas prices?" He's like, "Yeah, they're high." And he's like, "I talked to Bob yesterday. He's a wicked pisser." And I called my dad, and I was like, "Oh my Lord, the accent is real." And I was like, this isn't
I
fake.
talked to Bob yesterday. He's a freaking pisser.
He's a freaking pisser. I went to Dunkin' Donuts today, and they took 20 minutes. It's the shortest that they've ever been in Boston. But, I mean, they were sitting there talking to each other, and I literally called my dad, and I was like, "Dad," and I was, like, trying to look forward because they were behind me a few steps. I was like, I thought people were embellishing my whole life, but this is how people talk in Massachusetts. And then I was trying to get him to, like, look at it. Yeah, freaking Boston. Yeah, so I want to thank those two gentlemen that made me feel oh so
I've only been to Boston
real.
once. I don't really have much of a opinion about Boston other than the fact that the duck boat thing that we did was really cool.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that
It's also a much safer city than Philadelphia.
in the lobster roll, the lady, I went up to get the lobster roll and she goes, "Take another. Take one for home." I was like, "I'm going to take 12 of these and I'm going to eat them throughout the span of the week." Like, how is their lobster like genuine good, not imitation, like real lobster packed into this sandwich on a toasted bun? And I was like, I have been all over the country and I'm not going to complain about free food when I go to events. By the way, Syracuse doesn't offer free food anymore. They give you a voucher and the voucher doesn't even cover anything other than one thing. So I'd like to thank Syracuse University for that nonsense. But when you go to any other place and you get the food, by the way, Isaac and I don't get vouchers anymore because apparently we're not good enough. But so when
man.
Yeah, no, listen, Murph, if I want to go ham, I can go ham today. So, but I can't pay for the ham because I don't have a voucher. So the reality of it all is at most places you get food. Well, let me put it this way. Every place but Syracuse University, you get food. And the food that you get is typically good. Tampa Bay, I walked into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers arena, and I knew that this girl, Jenna Lane, way back in the day. And Jenna is now like the ESPN reporter for the Bucs. She's incredible. I'm so proud of her. Amazing human being. God bless her, Jenna, if you're listening. She says to me, she goes, "You have to get the Bananas Foster at halftime." And I was like, what is this, like a Michelin restaurant? Like she's like, "No, we're known for that." At halftime. So they had food before the game, sandwiches and finger foods. Then they had a full buffet, Bananas Foster. Then there was food after that. Syracuse, if it's a noon game, they have donuts to kill you, brownies to kill you, cake to kill you. They have eggs until they're gone. So if 10 people go up there and eat all the eggs, the other 20 people, no eggs. So they're like, if you go to Syracuse at noon, it's like you can either have diabetes or you can starve. But when you go to Tampa, they're like, "Would you like," and I go up to the lady and she's like, "Would you like caramel over your Bananas Foster, sir?" And I was like, "Can I live here?" So like, and that was way before Tom Brady. That was over a decade before Tom Brady. So I don't know what they have now, but Jacksonville one time did a chocolate fountain. It was for like Thursday night football. No, it was probably Sunday night football. And the beautiful fountain, they had strawberries, all the stuff, marshmallows. And then the two girls, my producer at the time was there with me, Nick. And so we went up to these ladies and they said, and we were just like talking and we were like, "Oh, is this for us?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so I'm going to get stuff. And they looked at us and they go, "Hey, we've been putting something in the chocolate fountain that we're not putting out here. Do you guys want some?" And they reach underneath and they take out a thing of Oreos and they're like, "Put this in the chocolate fountain." And then they hid the Oreos again. So whoever those ladies were, thank you for being so kind. To Jacksonville for having one chocolate fountain in 13 years. I'm happy I was there for that day. And to Syracuse, where's my voucher? That's all I'm saying. So
Where's any free food, right?
no. Well, I mean, I guess I should be happy they're not cooking in Syracuse anymore because the lasagna went through my stomach for 2.5 days. So
Oh boy.
this is my thoughts to you. Yeah, everybody's like, he's not going to go harder into anything else than he goes into Tom Brady. Just did. Love it. So I'm an honest man. If you don't, this is what I tell people all the time. If you don't want me to talk about it on the show, don't do it. Right? If you actually treated us with respect, if you actually fed us, if you didn't disrespect us, I have nothing to say. But I'm going to make jokes out of the fact that I go hungry. And I don't want donuts and muffins through the entire game. By the way, the water machine doesn't work. Plenty of soda. So I you know what I tell Isaac every year? I go, there's 30 of us in this press box. They're feeding us in such a way that there will be 25 here next year to open 5 spots. They're trying to kill us. So this is going to be like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to clip it out and put it up there. And people are going to be like, he spent 20 minutes talking about what's happening. Hey, if I don't talk about it, we can't change it. So with that being said, let's jump to another orange and blue in the tournament. The Florida Gators, your Florida Gators.
Gators.
They have won. 2 questions for you, Murph. 1, thoughts and feelings on your team being in the Sweet 16. 2, be honest, did UConn not get favorable call or calls down the stretch because they lost by 2?
I'm excited that they're in the Sweet 16. I expected them to be there. I think as most people did. I have them as my national champion in my bracket. For the first time, I actually feel good about picking them as my national champion. Not as a, they're my favorite team, but as like I legitimately think they could win. To answer the second question, I don't know. Well, for starters, I was watching the end of the game. I wasn't even really watching it. I had it on my phone on my drive home yesterday from Lake Wallenpaupack. So I'm not really watching it. I'm only seeing, hearing what they say. And there was, a few questionable calls and whatnot. And I kind of look back at replays and was thinking to myself, like, I mean, sure, they could have gone the other way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't necessarily think it changed the outcome of the game. Florida went on a run in the last minute and a half.
Yeah.
And broke it back open. Like, they were down, tied it, took the lead, and then they broke it back open for good. And then obviously UConn had to foul and whatnot. But I did also see what Dan Hurley did after the game and I guess relayed his message to the Baylor players. But yeah, I didn't really see enough that made me think, okay, these were that egregious. Now, there were definitely some questionable calls in other games, right? Like, you had a foul call at the end of the, which was it? I think it was the Colorado State-Maryland game.
Yeah.
Where they go up for a rebound, where originally the guy's going up for a layup and the defender who was going after him backs out of the way. So in real time, we all thought it was a foul, but seeing the replay, we realized that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then on the rebound, the guys are going up for the board, and it's an offensive foul, and now Maryland's shooting 2 free throws at the other end. And it was a questionable offensive foul, but I don't, would that have changed the outcome of the game? Maybe. I mean, they only lost by, it's not like, Colorado State lost by 1 million. They only lost by 1. It could have changed the outcome of the game. But the problem is, you can't challenge these calls.
Right.
They are judgment calls in the moment. It happens so fast. You don't know. Right?
But the thing is, when you're in those positions, okay, because San Diego State and Creighton 2 years ago was the most egregious one. There was less than a second on the clock. There was 0.8 seconds on the clock, if memory serves me correctly. 0.8, 0.7 seconds on the clock. Game is tied.
I don't know if I remember this.
Game is tied 56-all. San Diego State inbounds the ball. Guy curls around. As he's curling around, the free throw line. He goes to the left side of the free throw line. He goes up for the shot. He gets the shot off. He gets a clean look at the basket, and they say that he was touched. He was touched on his side. They put him on the free throw line with 0.8 seconds left. He makes one of 2 free throws, and Creighton loses and doesn't go to the Final Four 57-56. You don't make that call at that point. It was not a blatant foul. You do not make that call at that point. Like a pinky graze on the side of a guy who got a clean look at the basket. It's not even like he got hit and he like went sideways. He had a clean look at the basket. And that is probably one of the biggest, and having to be on that call after they lost. And like, I know Coach McDermott, like I've interviewed him, interviewed Kalkbrenner and a bunch of the guys, like having to watch them on that call afterwards and know that something was stolen from them. Like, that was a lot to take in. And I know Dan Hurley yesterday with UConn and Florida kind of alluded to stuff. And then, but when you have these close games, you have to be very careful as an official, because you want to call the same game with seconds remaining that you called when there was 13 minutes left in the first half. You don't want to change what you do. You want to be consistent. And there's refs that hold their whistle at the end of the game, and there's refs that blow the whistle too much. And you have to be really, really careful, because at the end of the game in a 1 to 2 possession game, when you blow that whistle, you better be really in your gut pretty sure that you saw what you saw, because you put a team on the free throw line and it's a 1-point game, it's a 2-point game, it's a 3-point game. You can change the outcome of a game. They have to be really careful. And I think the true showing of a good ref is a ref who will make a call with 0.8 seconds left, 3 seconds left, that he would have made with 10 minutes left in the first half. And I don't think we always get that. It's human error. I understand. But there's certain things that just don't add up. And there are refs. I've watched enough basketball. I played basketball. I've watched enough basketball in my life to know that there are refs that will not blow whistles once we pass a certain time. And then there's refs that will blow a whistle that they weren't blowing 3/4 of the game, but they're going to blow it in the last 20 seconds. So it's a very dicey situation, especially when it comes down to one possession. And yesterday, 2 games came down to 1 possession.
Yeah. And, it was close. I think there were some calls that might have been questionable, but at the same time, like, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, these people, like, there's refs, they're humans. Like, they're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? I wish there was a way. I don't think there's a way for them to take the foul call away.
No.
Once they make it.
No.
Like in the NFL, if you call pass interference, you could pick up the flag.
I mean,
say there was no pass interference after talking to the other refs.
They can change. I think they can change. They can change. I mean, they could potentially say there's no foul on the play, but
I mean, the only thing I think they can review is if it's a foul if it's a foul on the floor or in the act of shooting, and they can review flagrants and everything. But I don't think you can just take away a normal foul call. Once you make it, the call's made, and it is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I think the the second round definitely not as dramatic as round 1.
Yeah.
I am sad that St. John's lost, and we're not going to get to see a St. John's Florida matchup in the Elite 8.
Murph, let me hit you with this for 1 second here, because you're talking about St. John's. You're sad that St. John's lost.
Yes.
They're my national champion pick.
I know. I was trying not to poke the bear.
So you can be sad.
I was trying not to poke the bear.
You could be sad.
I didn't think they were going to win. I didn't think they were going to lose this early, though.
Yeah. You could be sad, but I'm wearing Venom for a reason today. I'm out for blood this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
So
yeah.
I literally put out one message after that game. I put one message out, one sentence. I said, how's John Calipari going to do my bracket like that? That's all I said. All I said.
I mean, the problem is you're not going to win a basketball game when you shoot less than 30% from the floor.
Shoot 28% from the floor.
It's not.
Kadari Richmond fouled out, former Syracuse player. Like, there was guys in foul trouble. It was a bad game.
There's nothing you could do.
No.
Like, they just played awful.
Yeah.
They played their worst game of the year at the absolute wrong time.
Right. Right, they
And
did.
it's sad. It sucks because I think they were the fourth most popular champion pick on ESPN
Yeah.
or something like that. Um, I mean, I had them in the Elite Eight. I expected them to win. My dad had them in to win in his bracket. You had them in your bracket. I think Ross had them in his bracket too that you posted.
Yeah.
So a lot of people took St. John's, and it's surprising to see them bow out this early. But I think if you're St. John's and you're Rick Pitino and you look at the season and what you did with this team, you've got to be happy with how the season went. At the beginning of the year, if you said you would make it to the NCAA tournament, win the Big East regular season, win the Big East championship, and win a game in March Madness, I think you would have taken it because you would not have been expecting to be a 2 seed at the start of the year.
No.
They were unranked. You figure they get it. Maybe they're a 6 or a 7 seed, and they win a game and then they lose in the second round. They, obviously the expectations changed when they lose 4 games by a combined 7 total points, and they're a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
By logic of Ken Palm and what we've seen in recent years, we knew there was a very low chance for them to win because an unranked team at the start of the year, I don't believe has ever won a national championship. And if they have, it was a long time ago. But I like where they're at. I don't think they lose all that much as long as they don't lose guys to the portal. But Patino being there and doing what he's doing with that team, they'll be back.
Yeah.
I like where they're at. They will be back. Mark my words, they're going to be ranked in the top 25 to start next year. They'll probably be, if I had to guess, maybe 16-ish in that range, maybe 20. But they'll be there. They're going to win a lot of games. They're still going to have to compete with the Marquettes and the UConns of the world in the Big East and Villanova and try to win games and try to win a conference championship again. But you can't count out Rick Pitino. You just can't.
No, you can't. And Rick Pitino, and by the way, Rick Pitino and his son Richard Pitino did
You
something.
see, he went to the game.
Well, yeah, and they did something. That,
he flew to wherever they were playing, and he went to the game right after they lost.
Which is awesome. Yeah, Rick Pitino and St. John's lose, and then he went to the Michigan State New Mexico game to support his son Richard Pitino. First time a father and son have ever won a tournament game in the same tournament in the same year. Happened this year with the Pitino family. So shout out to Rick and Richard. Richard, who is with Minnesota, now in New Mexico, and what he's done for the Lobos and how good New Mexico has been this year at the top of the Mountain West. So a lot of good that Richard's done. Rick going out to see his son, especially after a loss, says a lot about being a father above being a coach. And I absolutely believe St. John's is going to be ranked in the top 25. I think they're going to be ranked in the top 10 going into next season, obviously barring any craziness with the portal, but I think they're going to be ranked in the top 10, if not the top 15 going into the season. I fully anticipate that Rick Pitino, it doesn't matter how old this man is. He is a fighter. He will coach forever. When he's 82, he'll still be coaching. Probably look the same.
Most likely.
He'll probably be coaching at 82. And, I just want to say that for all these years, you've never seen Al Pacino and Rick Pitino in the same room at the same time. That's all I'm saying. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say about it. Never seen Pacino and Pitino in the same room at the same time. By the way, if you want to watch a really, really awesome movie of Al Pacino's acting, watch Paterno, where Al Pacino plays Joe Paterno and goes through the whole Sandusky thing and all that stuff at Penn State. Insane, really good movie. I think it's on HBO, which is now Max. So make sure you check it out.
I don't know that I've ever seen it, but I've heard great things about it.
It's a really, really good movie. Really good.
But yeah, I mean, Rick Pitino has been coaching college basketball since the 70s. And fun fact, if you didn't already know, I'm sure you did, was a coach briefly at Syracuse for a couple of years.
Assistant coach, yeah.
Back in the 70s. Then he went to Boston University, went and coached the Knicks, came back to Providence, then was the head coach of the Knicks, Kentucky, won a national championship in Kentucky, then went to the Celtics, who literally were really bad under Rick Pitino, but at the same time, had they actually gotten the number one pick the year Tim Duncan came out when they were the worst team in the NBA, Rick Pitino may have never gone to Louisville. They might have won a lot more championships in Boston.
Yeah.
Who knows? But he's also from New York. He was born and raised in New York City. He was born and raised in Bayville, which is right outside New York. And he's been a New Yorker his whole life. St. John's is in Queens. I mean, this is the perfect place for him to wrap up his career and hopefully win one more national championship. I would love to see St. John's win a national championship at some point in the next couple of years. I would. Right? Like, I don't have, and as most of you know, like, obviously I watch college basketball, March Madness, and everything. Obviously, I'm a diehard Florida Gator fan for pretty much every sport. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I am a diehard Florida Gator basketball fan because I'm not. I watch the games. I root for the team. I'm not going to sit here and have a huge celebration if they win the national championship and, buy all the gear. I'll probably buy myself a shirt.
Yeah.
I'll be excited if they win, but not like it would be if the football team won. Not like it would be if the Jets won the Super Bowl or if the Mets won the World Series. It's not on the same level for me.
Can I tell you the most boring
But that's what St. John's winning would feel like to me too, because I have a soft spot for them.
Yeah.
Like my dad likes St. John's. We talk about St. John's all the time. So I'd like to see St. John's. I'd love to see him get a St. John's.
I'd love to do it for the city.
Before he's gone.
Do it for the boroughs.
Yes.
But Florida, the most boring, I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings at all. The most boring NCAA tournament championship in men's basketball was Florida UCLA, where it was like, can someone get to 60 points? Anybody. Can someone get there? By the way, we have to take a step aside. I got to hit you with this really quick, Murph. I'm going to say a couple things, and then we're going to take a step aside here. Jerry said to you, talking about the Jets is like dead air. That's what he said.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So
you're not wrong. I'm willing to take it on the chin. They suck.
Did I send you?
They absolutely, and they will always suck until they finally actually make it back to the playoffs.
Did I send you?
I was 12 the last time they were in the postseason.
Oh yeah.
So, it's been a long time. I'm 26 now. It's been a very long time since they were relevant.
Did I send you the Steve Carell thing where he's wearing a dress and he's got his hair all crazy? And he's trying to hike a ball from a bush, and they're like, someone needs to tell the Raiders that this is Aaron Rodgers now.
Maybe.
So.
Oh yeah, I think you sent it to me yesterday.
I did. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple things here. Hit you with some knowledge here. John Wooden won not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, 9.
Okay,
straight.
LeBron.
9. Yes. 9 straight NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament championships. He won 9 in a row, and he won 10 in 11 years. The man was absolutely insane. And then on the Syracuse side of it, because I wanted to go back to this, when Jim Boeheim took over for Roy Danforth, which a lot of people forget about Roy, and you shut it. Shout out to Coach Danforth, by the way. He showed his face at a game this year. I would love to talk to Coach Roy. God bless you, Coach. And always praying and hoping the best for you and your family. Same for Boeheim and the crew. Boeheim made the NCAA tournament as the head coach of Syracuse his first 4 seasons. Then he didn't make it for 2. Then he made it for the next 10 years. Then he didn't make it for 1. Then he made it for 3. Then he didn't make it for 1. Then he made it for 4. Then he made it for 1. And so the year before they didn't win, the year before they won their only NCAA tournament title ever for men's basketball at Syracuse, they didn't make the tournament the year before. 2001, 2002, they didn't make it. They went 23-13, didn't make it. And then the next year, they won a national championship in 2002, 2003. They would make
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes. Carmelo, Jerry, Hakeem, Queth Duaney, Josh Pace, all my dudes, Craig Forth, Jeremy McNeil, love them all, Billy Edelin. So Syracuse won that year. Then they made it 3 more years after that. Then didn't make it for 2. Then they made it for 6. And then off 1, back on, off 1. And this is more recently here. Since 2014, 2015, keep in mind Syracuse joined the ACC right after 2011. Syracuse since 2014-15 season, they didn't make the tournament. Then they made it the next year in 15-16. Then they didn't make it. Then they made it for 2. Then they didn't make it. Then they made it for 1, and they haven't made it in a record-setting 4 straight seasons, Syracuse has
Wow,
not
I
made
thought
the
it was less
NCAA
than
tournament.
that.
Syracuse had never, in Jim Boeheim's almost 50 years as the head coach, 47 years as the head coach, they had never missed the tournament for more than 2 years. Never in his 47 years did they have a streak of 3 or more years missing the tournament. Boeheim's last 2 years and Adrian's first 2 years as the head coach, Syracuse has not made the NCAA tournament in the last 4 years, and they've missed it 5 of the last 6 years since 2019-20.
That's, oof, that's bizarre. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that is honestly pretty bizarre.
And keep in mind, obviously, there's a COVID year in that, but they did not.
Yeah, I mean
They didn't make it.
can't really count. You can't really. Well, technically, you could have seen who was.
I mean,
No, not actually.
no,
No, you
because
couldn't.
everything ended
Because
in
it was a week. It was a week before.
everything
It was
ended
during
in the
conference
second
championship
round.
week.
It was the ACC tournament. Syracuse had the night game. They played at like 9 whatever p.m. and they played North Carolina. They beat North Carolina, and then the world stopped. So we don't know what Syracuse would have been that year, but for the last 4 years, Syracuse has not made the NCAA tournament. It is their longest streak not being in the NCAA tournament in over 50 years.
That sucks. It's sad because everybody always knew Syracuse basketball as being like a powerhouse for like the last, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years under Boeheim.
Yeah.
And now they just have not looked good. And you know, we always talked about Syracuse as a basketball school. It always has been a basketball school. It's becoming a football school. It really is.
Well, it was football first, and then it was basketball, and then it tried to be football again under Doug Marrone with basketball, and, now it's football again. But we will take a step aside. It used to be Kansas, Kentucky, Syracuse, football. They were basketball schools, not football schools.
Yes.
And now
Duke.
there's been a change up because Kentucky's gotten better. Kansas had some good moments under prior regime that they had there, but Syracuse is now back on it with Fran Brown. We're going to take our final step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios. When we come back, Murph and I will do a live box break. I got some cards to open. I want a Caitlin Clark autograph. I've waited impatiently. So
If you hit a Caitlin Clark auto out of here, I might just drive up there right now.
I'll lose my mind.
I don't know if I can because I got a work meeting at 4:00 that I wouldn't be home in time for. But that would be maybe this week I would drive up there and see it.
Oh yeah. So we're about to open this box, proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. After this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, stay with us, Philly fans, Patriots fans, Yankee fans. Murph has attacked you all today, but you can all stay with us. So-
Hey, wait! Can I attack Georgia and Alabama fans now too?
No. You're going to take a break. You're going to breathe. You're going to breathe, okay? We need to find you some Jesus. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvalite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvalite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. You will find everything that you need. If you've never collected cards before, you're going to look like you've been doing it forever once you walk out of GG Cards and Breaks. They have everything to protect your cards, travel with your cards, showcase them, and they have packs and boxes that you can open up and see what you get, right? You like that thrill, the mystery of opening a pack or a box or a few of those. And of course, they have graded cards and singles. They may have a 101. They may have some RPAs for you, rookie patch autos. They're the only store that I know that has every MLB, NFL, and NBA team with their own box on the back wall. They also have Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and Magic the Gathering. Head there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and on Sundays from 10 to 5 to be a kid and to be a big kid. Because you're never too old to be a kid. GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, it's time to do a live box break. And this is the first time I'm opening the Panini Prism draft picks of men's and women's basketball. I really want a Caitlin Clark. I'm hoping that I get it. This is proudly presented by GG Cards and Breaks. Thanks to GG Cards and Breaks for all that they do to help us be big kids every single day. There are 6 packs, 5 cards per pack. The packs are nice and purple here, and I'm going to be opening them on the broadcast live with Murph as we go. So here we go, sports card show and tell with a live box break from GG Cards and Breaks on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes.
There we go.
All right, so let's see what we got here. So we got a Trey Alexander rookie card. Oh, in my first pack, you don't say, an All-American Caitlin Clark rookie card.
There we go.
All right.
You said you wanted Caitlin Clark. Now you got her.
I got a Fearless Kaishan George rookie card.
I don't know who that is.
I have a Purple Wave Jalen Brunson from Villanova. So that's a name that's familiar to me. And I got a throwback James Harden from Arizona State. Next,
before the beard was a beard.
Before the beard, yes.
Way before the beard.
Before him and Kanye looked similar. So let's look at this now. I have, oh, that's cool, a black and white throwback of Isaiah Thomas.
That's cool.
Tyler Kolek, rookie card. Zachary Rissacher, I think I interviewed this guy. Rookie card of his. New recruits. Oh, here we go. And,
another one?
And when some people ask this question, when they say, Dan, how come some of these have logos and some of them don't? I'm guessing that Panini has the rights. They may have some schools.
They have the rights to some.
Yeah, they have some school rights, but not all, because This one right here is a throwback of Rip Hamilton, and so they have the rights to UConn, so you could see UConn. But they don't have the rights to North Carolina. However, my Purple Wave rookie card refractor of another guy I interviewed, Armando Baycott.
There we go.
So that's cool. Some stuff that I could probably throw in my case and sell.
There's actually a really cool card I got at the Pocono show, at my show on Saturday, that I think you're gonna love because it's funny. I just want to show it real quick because I got more, but I'll show you after you do the box. So
Yeah, go ahead.
check this thing out. It is an auto
Yeah.
of Rex Ryan.
Oh, nice. Somebody that I interviewed, and the interview that I did with him went viral all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I saw. It was actually my friend Darren that had it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's cool." Somebody that was actually a good coach for the Jets. Like, how much you want for that? He's like, we look it up. It was like, $15 or so. He's like, "Hey, give me $10." I was like, done.
That's awesome.
I'll keep it for myself. It's a cool card.
I like it. Sexy Rexy. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Rookie card of Oso Iguodaro, I believe from Marquette. A Wooga Poplar rated rookie.
Wow, good job with that name.
Wooga. A Zach Edey. This is a guy that I think I've talked to. Oh, I know I covered Zach. An All-American red refractor of Zach Edey.
Do they have Purdue's rights? Nope.
They do not. Matas Buzelis, rookie card of the Deep Space. That's pretty cool.
Deep Space is in Prism is a cool insert.
And then I got Dylan Jones, rookie card as well.
There you go.
Dylan. All right, so we got 3 left, Murph. I'm going to have you pick. Left
That
on the
one.
screen, middle.
That one.
This one? All right.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Once again, box break of the blaster box of Panini Prism draft picks for men's and women's basketball. And, well, it shows men's and women's basketball on here. And, of course, I got a Caitlin Clark. I do want to let everybody know GG Cards and Breaks Tuesday through Saturday, open 10 to 6 and Sundays 10 to 5. Baylor Shireman, I believe I covered him as well, rookie card. This is an interesting name. Dink Pate, rated rookie.
Who what?
Dink Pate.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Dink Pate.
I feel bad laughing, but that's funny.
Yeah, we got Dink Pate. Then we have Ron Holland Jr. Deep Space with him wearing his suit. Little flash there. I like that card. It's cool. Then we have the James Harden green parallel that I had opened before, throwback. And then Kaishan George, who I had his insert. Now I have his official rookie card
There we go.
of Kaishan. So I got 2 more. There we go. I think that one's Caitlin, so I'm not going to open that one yet. All right, here we go.
We're gonna sweat it, folks.
I'm going to sweat it.
We are gonna sweat it.
So they have the rights to UConn because here's another UConn. It's a rookie card. Tristan Newton. You could see UConn's words on here. Hunter Dickinson. I covered him when he was going through his recruitment. So this is crazy. I got a Deep Space and a student orientation insert of Matas Buzelis, and I think it's the same picture. So let me go.
I think it is the same
Yeah,
picture.
let me go back and just grab it really quick.
I'm pretty sure it is the same picture. Jeez.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Yep. Yep.
So crazy. And then I have this is amazing. Hunter Dickinson rated rookie rainbow refractor.
Ooh, that's nice. Is it numbered?
This one, let me see. No.
Right on the back.
Looks like it should be, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then we have a Jalen Bridges. They have the rights to Baylor, so I have Jalen Bridges with the Baylor on there.
They don't have the rights to Florida anymore, so all my Florida stuff I just get from Bowman Chrome U.
Yeah. I like Bowman Chrome U. I open that a lot, Bowman U. That's usually what I open for college players is Bowman U, but I saw this Panini Prism and I gave it a shot. Devin Carter. They do have the rights to Providence, so there's Providence.
Providence is Big East, right?
The team that I cover in the Big... Ooh, yay! Okay, Carter Bryant, rated rookie.
Something's good back there.
Green parallel refractor of Ja Morant.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And I got a Nikola Topic Fearless rookie. And I was excited about this because I bought autograph cards last time with it. 150 points to Panini.
Nice.
So I got some autograph. So I did in my first...
I just hope it doesn't take you 2 years to get them.
No, I actually got mine pretty quick. So I did get my All-American Caitlin Clark official rookie card.
Top load that bad boy, huh?
Yeah, that one's
It's all right, bad girl.
And this is pretty good centering. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. Maybe the corner here and the top. So maybe grade worthy. We'll see. All right, Murph, show us your stuff. We got a minute here. What we got?
All right. Some stuff I got back from PSA and some other stuff I picked up from the Philly show. My show was on Saturday, the Pocono show. We had a blast. I picked up this really cool card in a trade for a card I got from a Garbage Pail Kids Aaron Judge, which is really, really cool. This Ultraviolet All-Star Auto of Pete Alonso.
Oh, nice.
That is a card I'm keeping for myself. I did put this card out in my case, but I decided to pull it, and I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
DJ Lagway, Green Auto, doing the Gator Chomp. Love that one. I want to get a 10 of those autos somewhere, but we'll see if and when I'm able to get my hands on that.
You got a lag.
You'll like this. This is a Bowman Chrome U card. You'll definitely like that. Drew Aller, auto, number to 75.
Oh, nice. It's a little dark on our screen, but I'm trying to see.
Yeah, let me try to see if that'll help. Does that help it a little bit?
Yeah,
that
helps
better.
it. Okay, yeah.
A little better. I just had to move the light. This is one of my Philly show pickups. This is an Ellie De La Cruz rookie auto.
Okay.
That's kind of an expensive card. This is another one, Zach Wheeler, number to 50 auto. That's a PSA 10, and it is Pop 2. So there are not very many of that one. And then there's only a handful other ones that I'll show you. There's Mark Vientos auto.
Okay.
From the Mets. I got all these graded. My first Soto Mets card. I kept one for myself, and the other 4 I'm going to try and sell.
Where did it come from? As Tops?
Tops Now.
Tops, yeah. Okay, that's what I figured, because I'm like, is it too early?
Yeah, so I had to buy them from Tops Now.
Yeah.
Picked this up at the end of the Pocono show. Aaron Judge, 2013 Bowman.
Nice.
He doesn't have a first Bowman, but that's considered to be his first Bowman. And then this cool looking hanger type card of Jack Caglianone that got graded. And then I think that's I don't think I have anything back here. That's new. No. Just a bunch of Jack Caglianone autograph stuff. That's about it. Not autograph. Just a bunch of Jack Caglianone cards. Okay. That's about it. But I know I hadn't got... Oh, hang on. There's one more thing I need to show you before we go. Hang on, because I haven't gotten to show this off yet. Hard to see, but
nice.
It is a Jose Reyes autographed jersey. I know I was talking about this a little bit. Got this signed at a brewery in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and I had it framed at the Philly show. Has Mets logo with some pictures on the left and right. It will eventually go on my wall. It's huge and really freaking cool.
That's awesome. I'm happy you got to meet him.
Yeah, I keep forgetting we're going to talk about it the day I got it, but I haven't had a chance to really show it off, but I underestimated how big that thing was. And these 2 jerseys here, the Langford and the Tebow jerseys, they will eventually be in that same encasing. The guy that did the framing in Philly, so it was $150 for that, and he took care of everything. The guy that is in Philly, I am planning on giving him those 2 the next time I'm there. And if any of you are going to be in New York, June 21st at the Javits Center for Fanatics Fest, Mike Piazza is signing autographs and meeting people that day. I will be going and getting a jersey signed, meeting my hero, and that will never, ever, ever be sold. I could be broke. That could be the last thing I own that I can sell.
Yeah.
I will never sell that thing as long as I live.
I understand that.
Tebow jersey too, but the Piazza jersey more especially.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm glad it's gonna be I'm glad I don't have to worry about buying one. I'm just gonna get it for myself. I'll shake the man's hand. I'll meet him. I'll actually get to watch him sign it.
Yeah.
I will probably get a picture of him signing it and of me with him, and I will probably have the guy put those as the 2 pictures at the bottom.
Growing up, my favorite catcher of all time, Mike Piazza. I sold.
You want to come with me?
When is it?
June 21st.
If I'm in town, then yes. So I have to check. But if I am, then yes. I don't know exactly.
Would you fly down?
Yeah, I'd probably fly.
Yeah,
it's 45 minutes.
My plan as of now is to drive into Jersey City and take the I mean, unless you want to fly to Newark. Like, do they have direct flights to Newark from Syracuse?
Yes.
Because maybe what you could do is fly to Newark.
I think so.
I'll pick you up. We'll drive to Jersey City and then take the train in the city.
Yeah, I would. I mean, because Mike Piazza, way before I met you, like I've been a huge fan. So whenever you have like all your Piazza stuff, it definitely I can respect and appreciate it. I
did pick up another nice Piazza auto at the Philly show, but it's in the box right now. I don't feel like going up and getting it.
No worries. So I sold my McCords and my Gadsons, and I had 2 McCord autographs. And then as soon as I sold it and I made good money, I thought to myself, if I could find one that's not that expensive, I want to get another one. So here is my one that I just brought home, my Press Pass refractor that says Reflector, Kyle McCord, auto, Press Pass.
Gotta get a Syracuse auto of
Yeah,
him.
and it is numbered 5 out of 10 in the world. There's one that has him, Ohio State, and Syracuse on the same card with an auto. That's the one.
That's interesting.
That's the one I've been looking for, but I got this one for now. So 5 out of 10 in the world. Had to get a Kyle McCord, and
I gotta find a cheap Justin Fields RPA for myself.
Oh yeah, and I do want people to know something here, and you heard it here first on Wake Up Call. That Kyle McCord card that I just showed is not my only connection to Kyle McCord in the not too distant future. You'll find out more of what I mean by that shortly. With that being said, Murph, here on the broadcast, talking about college basketball, college football, baseball, the NBA, the NFL, and sports cards. As always, Murph, I appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thanks for bringing me back after a couple of week layoff, and happy March Madness. Happy opening week. Yes. Let's go Mets. And we will see you next week, my friend.
Sounds good, buddy. I'll talk with you soon.
Sounds good.
Take care. That coming from Murph here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We're inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, and I would love to have you back here tomorrow and every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com worldwide. Of course, you could find us on our apps, and all you have to do is go to Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. A big time thanks to our incredible partner down in North Carolina. From New York to North Carolina, you'll find the Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, North Carolina on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Can't wait to see you there at the Brooklyn Pickle. It is down the street from Pinehurst Golf Courses, which of course you know very well for those of you that are into the PGA and into the golf world. Less than 10 minutes down the road, you'll find the Brooklyn Pickle right by Pinehurst Golf Course on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Head there today. Let them know that DT sent you. And, of course, visit our incredible team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel, DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servo Mation, Avicoli's, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Mother's Cupboard, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins, it's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Dolphins with us every Wednesday during Dolphin time at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni call Syracuse home and call Wake Up Call home of over 3 years now in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. You can find your Dolphins by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne Dolphins playlist. You also find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Brian X. Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcats every single month. Student athletes, coaches, and administration in the Bobcat Buzz, including our extremely awesome full opportunity to be with the men's basketball team en route to Buffalo in the national tournament where they were the number 1 seed. Find it all there. A lot of great stuff on our social media and our YouTube channel. You can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our playlist for BSC Syracuse. You can also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday during Bearcat time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Can't thank you enough for connecting with us on Tuesday. And of course, you can find the Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton Bearcats. Find our Binghamton Bearcats channel, our playlist on our YouTube channel. Find the Binghamton Bearcats. You can also find the Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course go to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage underneath the exclusive partners tab as well. For more information on your Bearcats, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I want to thank Brendan Murphy for being a part of the show. I want to thank all of you for watching and listening all around the world. And of course, GG Cards and Breaks for our special box break. I want to thank Great Lakes Honda City for being our exclusive studio partner. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. Looking forward to talking with you very, very soon. And of course, as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life.